Hi, this is David Orlofsky. Welcome to the Parsha in 5. We have an extra bonus this year because Nitzavim and Vayailech are usually together, and this year they are apart. So we'll speak separately about Vayailech. There's a mitzvah in Parshas Vayailech. It's the mitzvah of hakhel, where on the Sukkos after Shemitah, everyone comes to the Beis HaMikdash, and the Melech, the king, is going to read Sefer Devarim. And it says, everybody came, Anoshim, Noshim, V'taf. And says the Gemara in Chagiga, Anoshim bo lilmod, Noshim lishmoa, Taf lama bo. If the men are coming to learn and the women are coming to hear, why are the babies there? And it answers, no saying schar l'miviehem, to give reward to those who bring them. So the Nachlas Yaakov on Chumash, who is known to those of you who learn in yeshiva as the Nesivos HaMishpat on Choshen Mishpat, Rabbi Yaakov Melisa, he's quite prolific. He wrote a lot of different Sfarim. He has a little sefer on Chumash, but every piece is just a gem. He has two questions on this. First of all, since when does a Kadosh Baruch Hu create a mitzvah with no purpose other than to give you schar? Kadosh Baruch Hu does not have a mitzvah saying, dig a hole and fill it in, for absolutely no purpose. And I'll give you schar for it. There's no such a concept. His second question is, if all of the men come and all of the women come, you know why you bring the baby? Because what are you supposed to do with him? Leave him home while everybody goes to Yerushalayim? Or even if you take him with you to Yerushalayim, leave him in the playpen and everybody leaves him there? I would call that somewhat irresponsible. And yes, there are parents who are irresponsible. Rabbi Shol Salanta, it was Kol Nidre night. They were waiting to start davening and he wasn't there. And they sent a search party out. And they're searching around. And of course, every house is empty because everyone's in shul. But from one window, they hear someone going, shh, shh. And they said, Rabbi Shol, is that you? And he says, yeah. He says, what are you doing in there? And he says, I was on my way to shul and I heard a baby crying. I guess the baby was sleeping and the mother figured he would be okay, left him in the crib, but he woke up and he was crying. The door was locked, so I climbed in through the window and I'm holding the baby because I don't want him to cry instead of going to shul and Kol Nidre. I'm sure the mother didn't think she was being irresponsible, although sometimes you got to wonder. I live here in Heilige Har Nof. I saw a woman park in front of the hardware store with 4 or 5 little kids in the back of the car, and the car was running and she was double parked. And she went in to get something. Any of the kids could have just slipped the car in to drive. It was already going. Somebody coming around could have smashed into the car and killed all of her kids. I pointed this out to her. She basically said, mind your own business, but okay. So you know why you bring the babies? Because what are you supposed to do? So says the Nachlas Yaakov, he says, you know what it's teaching us? That I'm giving schar to the people who bring them. You're right, you have no choice but to bring the babies. But I don't want you to take the attitude of, oh gosh, these kids, they ruin everything. I guess I have to schlep them along. They're not going to understand anything. They might just make noise. And the Torah tells us, no, you get schar for taking care of your children. It was one year, just before Rosh Hashanah, somebody went to Shlomo Zalman and he was in tears. he says, Rebbe, I try as hard as I can during Elul to be better, to put in extra zman in the base medrash, to learn a little better, to try to be, daven with more kavanah. But my wife was on Shmirat Harayon. She wasn't allowed to get out of bed. So I couldn't go to yeshiva. I stayed home, taking care of the kids. I made sandwiches. I changed diapers. If I was able to get a neighbor to watch them for 20 minutes so I could run out and chapa mincha, that was already a good day. And now it's Rosh Hashanah. How am I going to go into Rosh Hashanah? I didn't do anything in Elul. And Shlomo Zalman said, what do you mean you had the best Elul you ever had? You did your avodas Hashem. HaKadosh Baruch Hu said, take care of these children. That was your avoda. They weren't a distraction. Hashem wants you to take care of these kids. It's a mitzvah to take care of these kids. So yeah, you have no choice but to bring the children to hakhel. But don't make the mistake of, I got to take these kids to hakhel. No. It's a schus to take them. It's a schus to be able to have them. What a bracha. And that's why HaKadosh Baruch Hu gives you schar when you take care of your children. Not because it's a distraction, just the opposite. HaKadosh Baruch Hu's telling you here that when you have to take care of your kids, it's a mitzvah. The mitzvah Hashem, Kulanu, Anoshim, Noshim, V'taf, are going to go in for a good gebenched a year. Shabbos.